Is $300 a week for a family of four normal?
Groceries are so dang expensive. I have a family of four, and I probably spend at least $200 a week on groceries alone.
The cost of living has gotten out of hand.
Everybody is just so tired, exhausted, overworked, underpaid.
We are no longer a paycheck away from homelessness. We are one sick day away from homelessness.
See, this is the game that the media will try to play with you to make you think in your struggle, it's you. No, boo. It's the system.
I'm mad about it for myself, but I'm even more mad about it for my children.
Okay, y'all, I need to know if this is normal or not. Is $300 a week for a family of four normal? Like, look at this. This is $320 worth of groceries, okay? Okay, meat's all in that bag right there. I'm used to spending $150 at Aldi's. I moved to West Texas, so no more Aldi's. What are you spending weekly for your family? Because this $300 is not cutting it. These prices are not cutting it. What are you spending weekly for your family?
You want to know what ruffles my feathers is groceries are so dang expensive. I have a family of four, and I probably spend at least $200 a week on groceries alone. What is happening? And by the end of the week, we're ready to go back to the store because our fridge is about empty. And my kids are fruit fiends. So yeah, I just bought bulk of strawberries at Aldi because they're 99 cents today. I practically have to take out a dang loan every month just to go grocery shopping. It's absolutely insane.
This is not an exaggeration. Every $500 that I make, I spend $2,000. Like every large sum of money that I make, I spend double that, if not even more. And it's not because I want to be. It's because everything just is like, it's just bill. Everything's more expensive, but the quality of everything's going, fucking take a bet. When will this end?
The collective burnout everybody is feeling right now is insane. I have never seen the vibes so low. Everybody is just so tired, exhausted, overworked, underpaid. I feel like all we can do is laugh at this point. Otherwise, we'll cry. I mean, how is this normal? I know lawyers that are asking around for second jobs. I mean, what's the point of doing all that school if you still need a second job? That's crazy. When did working two jobs and having no PTO become the norm? I have friends I haven't seen in months because all they do is work because they have no time off at all. And if you do get any time off, you're expected not to take it. You're guilted into not taking it. And for what? Nobody has any money. Everyone's broke as the next person, even if you have two jobs. I can't even bear to look at what gas prices are going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. I hate to sound negative, but man, I have just never seen it this bad. If everyone's this overworked, this tired, and this broke, is it ever going to get better? Or is this the way it's just supposed to be? I don't know. I just feel like this isn't quite what we were promised.
People are charging $1,000 a month to rent rooms in their home. $1,000 a month to rent a room. Bro, what we gonna do? The cost of living has gotten out of hand. And y'all, buy a house, man. Everybody that I know that owns a house tells me don't buy no fucking house. They hate that shit. Between property taxes going the fuck up, insurance going the fuck up, just having to fix roofs. Is that what it is? Having to fix their roof and shit. Everybody I know that got a goddamn house tell me don't buy no goddamn house. They say at least you call a maintenance man. But dead ass, what the fuck we gonna do about the rising cost of living? Because what you mean you charging people $1,000? You got 3 rooms in your house, you're charging them $1,000 for somebody to come live there. This shit is sad. Like, my son gonna be an adult in the next couple of years. He's gonna graduate from high school and be an adult. And this is the world he has to live in? The f***? I guess I need... shit is weird.
$4,686. That is what the average single American needs to take home every single month to cover their basic necessities. That's rent, utilities, health insurance, transportation, and food. To make that kind of money, you have to be making $60,000 to $70,000 a year. The median income, which is the true middle of the United States, makes $53,000 a year. Gross and gross. Now, I'm no mathematician, but $53,000 is a lot less than $70,000, which is what you need to cover your basic necessities. That's literally just to exist in the world. And let's not forget, gas just went up another 50 cents a gallon on average across the United States. Things aren't getting easier.
A 3% raise in 2025 was really a 0.3% raise because inflation in the US in 2025 was 2.7%. 2.7%. That means that anything you got by way of increase, remove the 2.7% because that's just to keep up with inflation. If you got a 5% increase, you really only got a 2.3% increase because it's just the amount above and beyond the 2.7% inflation rate. And if you're a leader or a CEO, you need to give cost of living increases separate from pay increases for performance. Getting an increase for performance should be above and beyond just keeping up with inflation. It's not a reward to say, oh, hey, congratulations, you did such a great job that we're going to give you some money to help you keep up with the basic increasing costs of life. That's not a reward. That's not a recognition for performance. That is basic human dignity and leadership. And listen, I don't think the government should come in and tell people to do this. I think you should do this as a leader in a business. You can do this, right? I'm the CEO of a business. This is what we do. That's why I work in a small business, so we can make decisions like this. And if you work at a big corporation, I'm really sorry. They just don't care as much.
They trying to say you need $94,000 to live comfortably in America. What? Who the hell they talking about? And then this study says if you are two working adults and you got 2 children, you need to be bringing in at least $209,000. Excuse me? See, the first thing I notice is they're talking about average instead of the median. The median salary for a single adult in America is about $42,000. And the median cost for a standard like family, right? 2 kids, right? Is about $78,000. See, this is the game that the media will try to play with you to make you think in your struggle, it's you. No, boo, it's the system. Because basically, the American life is becoming mathematically impossible for most Americans to even live. Right now, the American economy feels like, one of those claw machines. You see the prize, you reach for it, but that claw never actually grabs tight enough to pull it out. So I'm asking, when you hear numbers like this, do they feel realistic to you? Or does it sound like they're describing a life that most Americans will never live?
Someone said, we are no longer a paycheck away from homelessness. We are one sick day away from homelessness. And that is so true for so many people. And I hate that for our country.
I need to have a vent session for a second about the state of affairs in this country. So I have 2 adult children. One is 18 going on 19 and the other one is 21. My 18-year-old is working currently as an HVAC apprentice and working on getting certified, but he's making $16 an hour, which I live in a small to mid-sized Missouri town, so that's pretty typical around here. Wages are, low compared to a lot of places, but so is the cost of living. But he would also not like to be living at home with mom forever. He's more of an independent, autonomous person, so apartment living is not for him at all. He wants a place where he can have his truck and his dirt bikes and be able to work on motors and have the freedom to do what he wants with the place and also be able to have all of his stuff. And at this point, honestly, renting a house would cost more than a mortgage payment anyway, but he's been looking for houses and just trying to figure out what he can afford and what he can do. And he found this place that was only $125,000, which is dirt cheap around here. That just doesn't exist anymore, but it had no basement. It was on a slab foundation, I think, and probably needed some work, which he is naturally talented at that stuff. He works in HVAC. He's very mechanically inclined. He can do this stuff. So he's not afraid of a fixer-upper. Found out that the main reason it was priced so cheap is because it was in a flood zone. So it was a no anyway. But keep in mind, $125,000 house in this economy. And when we looked up to see if he did a 5% down payment on this thing with, your insurance and PMI and taxes and everything, his payment would still be $1,100 a month for a cheap piece of crap house. And just the look of absolute dread on his face when he realized how completely unaffordable and unattainable it is for him to be able to buy a house and live on his own. Now, my oldest son just turned 21. He's been waiting to turn 21 because he wants to get into the cannabis industry. And it's just like the alcohol industry, where if you want to be like a brewer or a bartender, you have to be 21 in order to do it. So this past week, Thursday, he interviewed for a job with a grower. And just a couple of days ago, he was offered the position and officially accepted it. And in that time, less than a week, we decided to start a war with Iran. And so when he interviewed for the job, gas prices were around $2.50 a gallon where I'm at, and now they are already at $3 a gallon and climbing. So just in the time between when he interviewed for this job and when he accepted this job, gas prices have gone up 50 cents a gallon, and they're not done climbing yet. And this is an issue because this job, there's a lot of dispensaries here in town where if he had, ended up there, he'd probably be a little bit better off. But this was the job opening that was available at the time for him to get into the industry. And it is a farm, which is 30 miles up the interstate from where we live. So now he is going to be driving one way to work 30 miles at a time when gas prices are going through the roof, because we decided it was a good idea to start a completely unwarranted, unjustified, and unnecessary war with Iran. And I'm now sitting here thinking about my own situation, where my own currently hourly wage is, and considering if I was their age, if I was just starting out. So thinking about buying the same house that I live in right now at its current value, at current interest rates, with the same percent down payment that I paid for this house back in 2017. And I realized that my payment would be double what it currently is. And I, as a 40-year-old woman who has been working for 24 years of my life, could not afford this place on my own. Like at 40 years old, I would need a roommate in order to live in this very modest, like 1,300 square foot, 1968 ranch style home. Like it's not a fancy house by any stretch. It's what most people would consider to be essentially a starter home by today's standards. And I could not afford it on my own on my current wages. So my question is, how the hell are we expecting these young kids to do it? Like for someone to start out, even in my area, in like rural Missouri, they would have to make $30 an hour in order to be earning a living wage, in order to live on their own and support themselves without the help of a spouse or a roommate, just for a single person to live and make it on their own, to be able to afford a vehicle payment, vehicle insurance, a mortgage or rent payment, and all of the utilities and groceries and cell phone bills and stuff that go along with just living your life. That's no fun stuff. It's just to live. They would need to make $30 an hour. Meanwhile, we have a government that is more interested in starting wars and harassing other countries and harassing immigrants that are living in this country than they are with their own people, than they are with helping the working class in any way, shape, or form with any kind of meaningful legislation or reform. We have a do-nothing Congress that is sitting on their hands and doing absolutely nothing to help any of the working class people. I'm mad about it for myself, but I'm even more mad about it for my children. Something needs to change. Something's got to give. And frankly, at the midterms, like it would be great if the Democrats are able to take over, because at least they'll do something to stop the nonsense that is happening in the executive branch that is going on unchecked. But are they going to do anything to actually help the working class people? At the end of the day, even the Democrats are doing the absolute bare minimum to be able to claim that they are for the working class, because they, right along with the Republicans, are taking money from wealthy campaign donors, and any policy, any legislation that they pass ultimately is going to help them and not us. So where does this end? How far does this go before we, the people, cannot afford to live no matter what age we are?